Tengu plant format is cheaper than ever right now, and I'm gonna prove it. And we're gonna do kind of a weird video, something I don't know if I've really done much. I think I did something like this in the past, but I feel like now's a really good time to kind of showcase this. So my goal is to try to fit as many decks as possible into my cart, whilst trying to stay under probably, let's say, like $100, right? So I want to see just as much as we can cram into a TCG player cart to try to get as many decks as humanly possible for Tengu Plant format. I think the format is cheaper than ever right now, and I think there are some really smart ways to go about this. Are the lists going to be perfect? Probably not, but they will be playable, and that's the key, because you know, for a lot of people wanting to try the format, there's a lot of cards, for example, like Thunder King and Dust Shoot. I'd say those are probably the most expensive cards right now, alongside Max C, but that's getting a reprint in the future, so we're not going to worry about Max C right now either. Plus, Max C is kind of more of a side card than a main card anyway. So I just want to like walk through the process and be like, okay, these are the cards that I would for sure buy if I was like trying to get into Tengu Plant format. All right, so we'll just kind of jump right in. We'll start with the main card right here. We got Tour Guide from the Underworld. Now, since this just got reprinted, you go, like, I have this sorted low to high, so we're gonna just get the lowest price card imaginable. This is the super rare right here from the 25th anniversary pack, and I'm just gonna scroll down until I find the first one with 3. Most of these are about a quarter each, and yeah, we got one right here for a quarter each at 3 of, so we'll add that to cart. The next one is gonna be Effect Veiler. These unfortunately went up a little bit. So like, even if you want a super rare, I think they're a little pricier. This might be the most expensive card you have to buy. Yeah, that's way too much. Hold on. Where are the super? Yeah. There's probably a lot of these. Yeah, see, and they're decent condition. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go through here. About $3 a piece. Still not terrible. Again, I think that's probably the most like expensive card. We also need to get the staples. So we're gonna go with, okay, Egyptian God deck. Got a Monster Reborn in here. Let's see. Actually, you know what? We'll optimize later. We'll optimize and see if we can save any money. Heavy Storm is also weirdly kind of pricey. Although most people, especially if you're like switching from Edison, you probably already have this card. So it's not terrible, but it isn't great, that's for sure. Let's do near mint. We're doing near mint for everything. Poor TCG coming in clutch, $1.99. That's my goat. We need Dark Hole. We're just going through the Trinity right now. This looks disgustingly cheap right here. We got 8 cents. Let's see if any sellers are in cart. No. This one says 8 cents, and it's a pretty popular seller, so we could maybe go that route. I usually try to stick to specific sellers, but for this, I'm just trying to see what the lowest price we can get is. So, we need Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Mind Control. This one just got reprinted in the 25th anniversary, so yeah, these are dirt as well. Let's see. All filter, seller and cart. Hell yeah. There's one right there. Book of Moon. Right now I'm just seeking out the staples that I think are important for people to have and pick up on hand. This way we can like start building from these staples and just see how many little deck cores we could slot in with what we have. So we have Book of Moon. We probably need Pot of Avarice. Oh yeah, 57 cents. And they're in cart. We continue our journey. Alright. Let me think. We probably need the solemn package. Here we go. And Rarity Collection also just printed this as a very cheap price. So yeah, these guys have it cheapest. We'll do that. Solemn Judgment also got its printing. Perfect. 99 cents. And then we need Torrential Tribute. These are like the most commonly played cards in the format. Like there's gonna be like D Prison, for example. D Prison is really expensive. It's like a $5 card. I'm trying to keep this as cheap as possible so we can get as many decks in the card as possible. So for example, you can kind of skip D Prison and you can opt for Bottomless Trap Hole. This is kind of nice as like an extra like trap card. It's functionally similar. It's just, you know, like obviously one's attack negation, one's on summon. But it's like you're not gonna like be bleeding super bad if you're using Bottomless over D Prison as an example. It's not ideal because I think a lot of people prefer they prefer D Prison over Bottomless, but they're pretty interchangeable. It's not that big of a deal. We need one copy of Mirror Force, and they're in cart too, so sick. Okay. So so far we have majority of our stuff here. What I'm going to do now is let's evaluate. I guess we probably need to focus on extra deck monsters next. So yeah, look at all this. So far we're at $20, and we have majority of the cards you're gonna need for just about any deck in the format. So now we kind of want to probably expand out a bit and see how many deck cores we can fit into a single order. And the first one that comes to mind is going to be TG Stun. Actually, no, we better do extra deck first. Extra deck probably comes first. So let's do Leviair. Spelled it wrong. Yeah, so you can get common Leviairs for about $2. Nice thing about these cards, oh, and they're in cart too, that's big. Nice thing about these cards is you only need 2 Leviair. Like, across the board, no deck plays more than 2 Leviair. And kind of the same thing goes for Leviathan Dragon. So, like, these are primary tour guide targets. Take off the sellers in cart. Okay. Looks like none of our sellers have Leviathan Dragon. Unlucky. Let's see. Okay, we're operating with commons. Surely someone's gonna have a common copy of this that isn't expensive. Wow, did someone like buy these out or something? Wild. Alright, well, screw this one. Let's try all version. Battle Pack, Epic Dawn. Okay, top table gamer here. We only need 2 of this. Again, no decks really ever. I don't think I've ever seen a deck in Tengu play 3. Let's get Trishula. Nice thing about this, yeah, look at this. It's literally listed for 1 cent. So I'm sure one of the sellers in our cart has this. So yeah, Core TCG has it. Only need it as a one of. Scrap Dragon also came common. And you only really need 1 copy of this. I kind of want to say 2 copies to be safe, Just because, I mean, some decks can use more or less depending on what you're doing. I mean, it's 25 cents. I'm going to say 3 for the sake of scraps, but I don't even know if we'll build scraps. We might cut that out, but we'll see. Stardust. We're looking, yeah, Toon Chaos. It came rare. Well, all versions just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that Toon Chaos is the cheapest. Oh, dual power. You could do an alt art ultra rare. Now that is a banger. Let's look at that one. $1.49. Don't mind if I do. I would get 2 Stardust Dragons for sure. Black Rose Dragon. All right. Yeah, perfect. You never need more than 2 Black Rose Dragon as well. Like, I've never seen anyone run more than 2 Black Rose. Bryanak. Nice thing about Bryanak, it's a 1-of in the format. You only need 1, and it has a lot of really cheap printings. Looks like I have one of my sellers already selling it for 74 cents. Perfect. And then we need... Let's see, any other level 6s? Oh, I like this one. Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth. Because I'll probably add TGs into this, because TGs are just so cheap. Alright, and... Let's see. TG Hyper Librarian. Card's also absurdly cheap because of Rarity Collection. So yeah, we can get one for 15 cents, and it's a 1-of. That's all we need. All versions. That is the super rare, the cheapest. What is that super weird? Okay. We just don't have the seller in cart. That's fine. Dabbers sells a lot of stuff, so we'll get... They usually have a lot of inventory. Alright, Armory Arm. This one's really expensive for some reason. Oh my gosh. Wait, why is Armory Arm so incredibly expensive? What the hell? Don't have sellers in cart, yeah? Yeah, I literally don't. Ew. Do we need Armory Arm? This is the debate. I might say no if it's really just that expensive. Like, you have to spend so much. What the heck? Alright, who bought out Armory Arm? Which one of you did it? Oh god, yeah, alright. It's been bought out. We're dodging Armory Arm right now. We don't need Armory Arm. It'll be fine. It's a good card. But is it necessary? Not really. Blackluster Soldier, that's probably a good one. Toon Chaos helping us out. And let's see if I have seller in card. Hell yeah. Dabbers comes in clutch too. Alright. Let's reevaluate the cart now. Let's see where we're at. We've got our extra deck. $35. That is not that bad. We've got a relatively full extra deck. And we have most of the cards we're going to need for like generic staples. So now we just need to build off of that and kind of see what we can do. And I think at the end of this video, what I'll do is after we get all of our cards in the cart, I'm going to build decks using the cards in our cart so you guys can kind of see like what a deck like from this would look like. And then maybe that'll also tell us if there's any like weird niche things we're missing once we start building the decks themselves. So first deck I think is like that is super good to pick up is going to be TG, as I mentioned before. So we'll do TG, Rush, Rhino. And the nice thing about TG is all the cards from the deck are commons. So like even look at this, we have Rush Rhinos 25 cents each from already in our cart, and then we'll do Warwolf. Looks like Extreme Victory is cheaper. Wait. But we're also doing sellers in the cart. Let's take a look and see if. Okay, Davers, sure. Warwolf on the more pricier side. TG Striker. I'd probably say get a playset of these. A little pricey too, about $1 each, but it's not the end of the world. With that, we need Beast King Barbaros. Oops, that's the wrong one. The reason why I say Beast King Barbaros, because I've already built this deck specifically as a loner deck for local Tengu players here. Main reason why is because Beast King Barbaros is a lot cheaper than Thunder King. So like just going for the skill drain is gonna be your best bet. So, oh, we got even cheaper than the supers. We got commons right here. That's what I'm talking about. You only need 2. And then we need TG1. Oh wait, it's just TG1. Yeah. I'm just kind of doing this all off memory. Oh, look at that. 9 cents each. We'll just pick up that playset right there, baby. Alright, let me scroll over. I'm gonna check my TG list to make sure I get everything we need. Anything we're missing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's helpful. Pot of Duality. That's also a fantastic staple card that's gonna help with a lot of these other decks as well. And 25th Rarity Collection. Looking good. Look at that. Good playset for 74 cents each. Not bad. And then we need Horn of the Phantom Beast. This is like probably the unfortunate cost out the gate right here to like spend. Oh my god, the supers are actually more more affordable than the commons. Funny. Alright, sick. 3 super Horn of the Phantom Beast. And then lastly, okay, we need Call the Haunted. Did I add Mirror Force? I can't remember if I added Mirror Force. Look at this. Boom, baby. Oh wait, we don't need 3. It's a 2 of in the format. Let me check the card again. I don't know if I got Mirror Force. Mirror Force is kind of important as well. Okay, we got Mirror Force. Sick. So then we just need, like, Starlight Road. We'll do it as a 2 of. You'll never play more than 2 in any deck. Dark Bribe. You know what? It's fine. I don't think we need to run more than 1 Dark Bribe. And I think that's it for TG. Oh, Reborn Tengu. This is nice because this is going to translate over into other things. So we'll get Reborn Tengu here as a common. And luckily, yeah, one of our sellers has it. So we're doing pretty good in terms of like keeping seller consistency to keep it all in one. And I'm not like we're not going to get bamboozled by shipping. Yeah, look at this. So basically the entire deck of TG Stun is in the cart with all of our generic staples. And we are at $47. So you can already see that like we're getting really close to having the ability to build some sick stuff. Let's go. Oh, baby, look at that. We only need one of these, because I don't think you ever play more than one. But we'll grab two, because they're 12 cents. Okay. Oh yeah. Turia Barkion, they came DT in this Hidden Arsenal set, and it's good to pick up one of these, at least for PG. And then we need number 39. Oh, yeah. I can't forget that our rank 4s. And see, like, you could run Roach, but Roach is also a little pricey. It's like $5 a copy. We're trying to get as much as we can for as little as possible. So we're just going to get a playset of Utopia. You can run multiple if you need to. And that's going to help us quite a bit along the way. So, okay. Now we have TG Stun accomplished. Basically in full. And we have we've spent $49. We're trying to get to 100 and get as much bang for our buck. So the goal here now is if we have TGs, we can also build TG agents, right? So we're gonna go, we'll just look up Agent of Creation Venus. Nice thing about this, yeah, Ghost from the Past. This is so huge, guys. Like, Ghost from the Past did us some favors. 25 cents for ultra rare Venus. Get a playset of those, and we're just gonna hop on through and just pick up like everything else. So Earth, same thing, 25 cents for near mints a piece. Hyperion, 25 cents a piece. Mystic Shine Ball, whoa, 29 cents for the Shine Balls. Are living it. And then I need a Jupiter. One Jupiter. Okay. Oh, and then we probably need Honest. Now see, I'm kind of going off the lists on my website a bit, but I will say that, like, for example, TG Agents on my website runs Thunder King, and we're trying to avoid Thunder King. So we're not going to mess with no Thunder King. We do need a Gores, and this one, yeah, might be a little pricier. Where's... Yeah. Oh, $1.64 for the only seller in our cart. I'm down. Dragunity is actually pretty cheap if we need it. I don't think we do, but we do need Mystical Space Typhoon. It's a card that I forgot about because TG Stun doesn't play it. Yeah, okay. The super rares, which honestly look pretty good. We can do 2 for 25 cents and then 1 for 74. Sounds great. Alright. That's most of the cards we need for TG Agents right there. Oh, I need 8 Christia. We could do 2 as well if they're cheap, but... Oh, yeah. Let's grab 2 of these so we have the option. Nice. Alright. Now, see, this is like why... This is like the fun part. Okay, we can double check. How much did we add to our total? We're $56, okay? So we have... TG Stun and TG Agents technically available to play in our cart for $56. And virtually every extra deck card we're going to need for that. I guess we need Gotchi. That's an important, like, niche card that agents play. Oh, wait. That's the more expensive one. Oh, wait. They're about the same price. Let's see. Check and see. Okay. Top table game. You need... We'll get 2 of those. Boom. I might grab Dragunity. And luckily, Trag came common as well. 74 cents a piece. We only need 2. Beautiful. Seller is already in cart. Okay. Yeah, that's probably good. Alright. So, another deck that I think mixes well with these decks right here, because we already have 90% of the cards for it, is going to be Nordic. So hold on, I'm pulling my Nordic list so I can make sure I don't miss anything. I don't even know how to spell it, though, is the only issue. Let's see. Perfect. Once we get the first one, we're fine. But all these cards came common as well, guys. So, like, Nordics is another really good deck. 10 cents a piece for the Grey Goat. Add that baby into it. Let's see if we can find any related. No, we need gold facts of the Nordic Beast. $0.74. Sweet deal. Betters. I think this is cheapest, but we'll double check. Okay, yeah. Commons. 18 cents, 25 cents. Can do 1 at 18 and then 2 at 25. Bada bing, bada boom. And then Thor is another commonly played one, so we'll grab Thor. Add that one in, and I think I just need the white goat, which is sad because I swore I saw it. Let me see if I can find it by clicking. Yeah, there we go. We only need 1 of those. Let's see. We do need Super Nimble Mega Hamster. Luckily, the supers are 25 cents. So we'll grab 2 of those. Then all we need left is go. Only need it as a 1 of. And there is one slight bummer here. We definitely need Ancient Fairy Dragon. Which, I mean, that's not bad. That's cheap. But the one I'm scared about is going to be Ancient Sacred Wyvern. So, grab 2 of these. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. We're praying. Alright. Maybe we can't do Nordics. Because you really need this card, and this card is way too expensive. Alright. No concern. Dragunity. Dragunity Ducks. Really cheap. I know that much. This is the other loner deck I decided to do. I see lightly play 74. Okay. Dragunity. I think we only need 2 of this card because we're gonna go for like the. We're gonna go for the like Psycon build where you're on tour guide and stuff like that. Reason for that is it's actually cheaper to go that route than go for back row. Shoot, but we don't have all sellers in cart. We can do these too. I don't know. We got so far with pure sellers in cart, guys. I'm trying to find another like. Okay, or get. Boom, baby. We need all 3 of those, and then I wonder if there's gonna be a Red Ice Darkness Metal right here. Also came common and is also fairly cheap. We're gonna try sellers in cart again. Yeah, we can do 1 at 17 and then another at 25. Terraforming. Need a play set of these, and yeah, this card's been reprinted into the ground, so there's no universe where you don't get all 3 for very cheap. You might think Dragon's Ravine. Oh my god. Dragon Ravine. You might think this card is expensive, but it's really just not. Seeing $1.49 a piece, that's not terrible. That gets us there, and that's all that matters. Then we need. Okay. And so I know, like, Psycon's list didn't only play 2 of these, but because we don't want to buy every extra deck card that exists, it's actually cheaper for us to go for 3 on this. Okay, so, and like, the secrets are 56 cents for a Vajrayana. Like, how crazy is that? This card used to be so pricey back in the day. But I think that's everything we need for this. Based on all these cards. We have Ravine, we have Phalanx, we have the 3 Ducks, and then we already have our tour guides. We have the Red Eyes Wyverns. And yeah, this is fine. Perfect. We're at $71, and we have 3 decks in the mix right now, which is pretty sick. So we're gonna keep going from there. I'm trying to keep the cards generic. So for example, for agents, we could get Herald of Orange Light, but Valor works pretty much just as fine, and it's nowhere near the price. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so we just got Dragunity. I had to do a little thonking because some decks just require niche cards, and I'm trying to cram as much as I can into one order that isn't going to break the bank. So the cards I thought about were going to be Silent, Psychic, Wizard. Okay, we're going to do Psychics as well because we already have TG, so we can do TG Psychics. And nice thing about the, like, the one thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to do, let's see if I can get any sellers in card. I can, big. We're not going to do the, like, what's it called? The Miracle Synchro Fusion engine, just because that's the one thing that needs some niche stuff. But Psychics are pretty good independently. So what that means is we can realistically pick up every other card we need without having to go that route, and then we can play for a bit of a different strategy. I'm sure I can come up with a build that isn't with, you know, with the Miracle Synchro Fusion strat, because I know there's a lot of people who don't even like using it anyway. So, you know, depends. I mean, I personally enjoy it, but again, we're trying to go for budget, so let's get as functional as possible with as cheap as possible. We only really need like 2 of these. Okay. I don't even think you need 2, but it's fine. Like a commander. Oh! I think it's the cellaring card. That's no way that it's that pricey. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's see, is there anyone? Okay. Big city cards. All right, we'll do big city cards because I know they have a lot of inventory. And if anyone here knows big city cards, tell them to unban me. I think I ordered like a million cards from these guys, and I swear it was so sad because like I've bought so many cards from them that and then like one day I had like one issue on an order, and then they blacklisted me, and I was so sad because I order from them all the time. All right, $2 for that. Whatever. Fine. Anyway, help a boy out. Find big city cards. Oh wow, something I completely overlooked is we didn't get a copy of Sangan for our tour guide. That's pretty important. A lot of people enjoy summoning Sangan off of tour guide, you know. And look, yeah, there's big city. It's okay. It's okay. You guys can do this. I can't. You know, I'm not going to actually place this order anyway, because I already own all these cards. And we need a copy of Psychic Jumper. Perfect. All right, well, that's like literally everything you would need for... Oh, wait, no. We need emergency teleport. Which is... Oh, yeah. I didn't realize... I forgot this came in Rarity Collection. Let's see. Cellaring card. So many people have so much inventory of this. We only need 1. And... I think that's it. I think that's literally all we need. We don't need any of the psychic like synchro monsters because we're not gonna be going for the only one I'll say is Thought Ruler. I'm not gonna do Magical Android because that card is disgustingly expensive for no reason. So but we can get a Thought Ruler for 33 cents, and that's a pretty good deal. That also is a nice slot in for Dragunity, since we're going to be making a lot of level 8 synchros in that deck. That's going to help us a lot too. So let's take a look. What do we got? Oh, I probably need Creature Swap too. $78. We can get a playset for 75 cents. I'm in. I doubt we'll use all 3, but it's nice to have. This one's going to sound a little spicy, but one of the big differences between Cassith control and Unicorn control is Unicorn control runs Thunder King, and we're trying to dodge Thunder King. Or Cassith runs Thunder King. So, but we can look up Chaos Source. And, like I said, we don't need... I feel like the Toon Chaoses are going to be cheaper. Yeah, okay. We're going to grab 3 rares of that. But, yeah, Unicorn Control is playing more for hand control. One thing I know is they do play Armory Arm and Ancient Sacred Wyvern. But I think we could bypass that. We don't necessarily need it. Obviously, they're really good cards. But those cards are a little pricier right now. So, you know, Konami, if you're watching this, help your brother out. Get rid of some of these cringe, expensive, needs reprint cards. Dark Bug. Looks like I need to get rid of the sellers in cart to find them. But we could get some Dark Bugs for pretty cheap, I'm assuming. No one really plays this card. Let's do Near Mint. Is there anyone? Oh, Olympus? Yeah, buddy. Grab a place out of those. Okay. Oh, and I need Fabled Kushano. I'm genuinely curious if I could do Fable too, but the issue is like, so many of these decks just need a copy of Ancient Sacred Wyvern, like just one copy. And it makes such a world of a difference. Like, for example, we can do Nordic very cheaply and easily if we do Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Fusion Enforcers, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Ooh. There's 3. We're sick with it. Damn, he's collectible. No space and Scapegoat. Oh, baby, it came common. And you know what? We're going to grab 3 of them. Because, like I said, we don't have access to Armory Arm, which does suck for, like, the Armory Arm BLS plays. Nice thing is for those watching, like, obviously I'm going as budget as humanly possible, so we're dodging cards that are, like, over $5. But pick up a copy of Armory Arm, you know, you'll be okay. It's just, I want to make it cheap as possible, so... Damn, none of our sellers have a copy of Formula Synchron, and we only need 1. Here's Card Lab. Alright, let's check out the cart. Where are we at? $94. We are cutting it close here. But, we do have... I need an Arcanite Magician. Get to. Now back to cart. That should put us... Okay, we are $3 away. I wonder what else I can get. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to add Nordics to this. I took them out, putting them back in. Only reason because... like, it's 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern of an investment, so, like, this is, like, $100 cart. It's still gonna be about $100. But it's, like, I don't know. You'll see. We've reached 101.34, and we have, let's check how many decks we have. We have Unicorn Control, so Unicorn Control. We have Dragunity. We have TG Agents. Or even just agents, we could probably make it work either way. We have TG Stun. And Psychics. Yeah, that's not bad. And technically, I mean, I'm not even counting Nordics because, again, I think Nordics definitely need Ancient Sacred Wyvern. But, so, like... we could make this a $120 cart, right? And get a single copy of Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Let's see. Let me double check and make sure I'm not a bozo and like I cut off sellers in card if I can find a cheaper one. Okay. Alright, we can get a light played for 16 bucks. I'm gonna take that because this will make life so much easier. And yeah. I know I said under 100, but we're at $118 for a ton of different decks. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna build all the decks so you guys can see just how much this builds. Like I said, we can technically, if we want to keep it in the under 100 goal, we could cut this Ancient Sacred Wyvern and then cut the Nordic cards. And I think that's about as good as it's going to get in terms of like what we can build without them. But I do kind of like this idea here of getting Nordics just because even the Unicorn Control plays Ancient Sacred Wyvern as well. So it's like you're kind of killing two birds with one stone with that card. Like, I mean, a lot of decks use it. Even agents are going to want to use it. So by having it, it helps a lot. So for the sake of building decks, I'm going to include the single copy because I think it'll take us pretty far in terms of like what it unlocks for our decks. But yeah, we'll move on and I'll make some dueling book lists so you guys can see exactly what this converts to. All right, so I went through the card again. I had to add a few cards that I like realized I was missing, like some basic stuff. Like for example, for Dragunity, I needed Future Fusion and then like Forbidden Lance. Nothing too crazy. I also decided to bite the bullet and add Armory Arm. Like literally the most expensive cards in these decks are literally a single copy of the Ancient Sacred Wyvern, which I managed to find somewhere down here. It was like 16 bucks. And then I found a single copy of Armory Arm. Yeah, so 16 bucks here. And then I added a single copy of Armory Arm, which was like 8 bucks. I don't even know if you need to do the Armory Arm again because you either already own one or for whatever reason it's like bought out. So it's like weirdly expensive. But this card, like just adding those two cards to the mix, let me get so many more deck cores. So while it's not at the original goal of under $100, we're at $128 for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of 6.5 decks for Tengu plant format, and very unique decks as well. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty reasonable. Like the biggest focus of this video is for newer people coming into the format who want a little guide or an idea of what are the cheap decks to get into that doesn't cost anything. So like you don't even need to buy all these. I just think it's nice to like order some of these together because of the fact that a lot of these cards mix in together. And so we'll kind of like jump into it and talk about it. So starting with the first deck, I have Dragunity. I forgot I also needed to add Quackimiro Drago, so I added a single copy. This card's like $2 or $3 right now, so like that's like a little pricey for something, but or for like these like super budget decks, but it's a nice one of, and it's pretty important. It like really helps swing the agent matchup, so I figured it was worth keeping in. And down here in the side deck, I just added any cards I forgot to put into the original order. So like the cart you just saw was like the very last finalized updated cart, so $128. And then these were the cards I had to like add in that I didn't, so I forgot about a lot of these guys. But we picked them up, didn't really add too much to the total. It's pretty cheap and fair and fine. So yeah, this is what the Dragunity list looks like. Like I said, it kind of looks like a Psychon Dragunity list. I think I like base it on a Psychon list and then tweak some stuff just to keep it as budget as humanly possible. But this is like more than playable at a tournament. This is like more than reasonable. This is definitely a good deck. The next deck I have is TG Stun. We've seen this deck win events before. It is very simple. The only thing I changed on the list to like make it cheaper is I didn't want to go super heavy on Starlight Roads, which like that doesn't change the price at all really, but I didn't want to go super heavy on Starlight Roads, so I added in a few extra spells, especially because since I'm not including a side deck, like when it comes to a deck like this, it typically doesn't main deck MST, or like, but since I don't have a side in, it's kind of important that you at least have a copy of MST somewhere. So I figured just running a one of MST in the main deck isn't that big of a deal. since we're not showing side deck. If you wanted to replace this out for something else, you could do another Starlight Road or something. But for the most part, within like the list on my website, the biggest change I made was I cut Dust Shoot because it's too expensive and swapped out for a Mind Control. If you're on Triple Striker, Mind Control is more than fine, especially because you can steal their Tengus and Exceed and stuff like that. We got the Utopias. But yeah, you can kind of see what this list looks like. All these cards, dirt cheap. You know, all those cards are within our cart. And so this is another really functional looking deck. The next deck is TG Agents. I actually made Agents and TG Agents, so like a pure agent list with the cards we had. The only downside to pure agents, and like this is up to you if you want to invest in the deck, because realistically, you could build something like this, and the only change you would want to make is you probably, so like, okay, we'll kind of explain it. So for this one, I added an extra Chaos Orc and cut a Christia from like traditional agents. Main reason for that is one Christia is going to be better if you're not on Herald of Orange Light, which we're on Effect Failure, because I didn't want to buy Herald of Orange Light. So like $3-4 a piece, and that's a very specific to agents card. You're not going to be able to splash that in anything else. So most of the cards in here are splashable. Like for example, even the Ancient Sacred Wyvern, while it is $16, it is playable in Agents, and it's like playable in a lot of the other decks we're going to show. In fact, I slotted it into a lot, as well as Armory Arms. So you're going to see those two pricier cards get put to good use into all these other decks. And like I said, for at least Nordic, this card is essential. I run it as a 2 of in Nordic, but you could get away with 1 of it. It'd be fine. But yeah, so we have, for this one, it's basically just kind of like a Chaos Agents list. We're not on Maxi until, you know, maybe the reprint. When the reprint comes out, you could probably cut the Lance if you want to main deck Maxi. I'm still not a fan of main deck Maxi, so I mean, I haven't really thought about how I'd build agents for a while, but I don't think it would include Maxi either way. But this is pretty fine. You know, the Lance are going to protect your boss monsters. The 2 Chaos Orc, because you're going to, like, you might have more reason to use it. Like, your graveyard is more likely to have a dark in it than it is to have 4 fairies because of the Effect Veiler. So you guys kind of get the general idea. For the TG agent side, we're taking advantage of the creature swaps that we got for our psychic list, as well as I'm running traps. My original list for TG agents ran traps. I actually ran bottomless. But since we don't have Thunder King, because like my TG agent list also ran Thunder King, I decided to swap in Tragodia. So I cut the trap count down to just like warnings. And like, I know like a lot of people hate these in decks like this, but I'll be honest with you. The thing that makes these cards so OP in agents, or like make them playable in agents, like I think it's strong, is just because if you turn 1 Venus and warning their normal summon, you have like the biggest tempo swing of all time. Like you can like hard blow people out with just that. So I kind of like having summon negation in agents, and so that's why I did this. Also, most agent lists are like splashing in like a Mirror Force Torrential or something, because people just don't really expect to run into it. So I felt like this was like pretty fair. Again, our goal is budget here, not necessarily like the absolute best build, but these builds could easily top a tournament or do fine. Like I really don't think this is that bad. I was also on Valor in my TG agent list that I like just narrowly missed topping YCS Kansas City with. I did Valor over, because I didn't want to brick on Christia, so I did it over Orange Light, and I didn't like pitching like I'm a big Valor fan, you know, you already know me. So yeah. So these are the 2 agent lists I was able to put together. That's why I said like 6.5 decks, because like they're not entirely too crazy different. They're all pretty similar. You could definitely intertwine the cards that are here. Like you could even run Tour Guide with the Striker package, because Striker just has inherent synergy with the Tour Guide pretty well. Like you could even cut the Warwolves and just run Striker, because it has such good synergies with agents. But yeah. Moving on, we have TG Psychics. So again, we're fully utilizing the TG Stun package here with like the Tengus and the Warwolf and then a single Rush Rhino. I actually recently did this because I loaned out this deck for some people. I cut Rush Rhino, or I cut Maxi because I had a single copy of Maxi. I had 3 Valor, 1 Maxi. But I cut that for Rush Rhino, and it actually felt really good. So, but we're also cutting the Miracle Synchro engine because we don't want to spend the money. The only card I added to the cart, because we're not on the Miracle Synchro Fusion engine, is I added Naturia Beast. So Yeah, I don't have Magical Android in here, but I went for the Trivia Beast, and I added TG Wonder Magician because it has really, really good synergies. You only need a tuner, non-tuner TG monster, so Esper Girl plus Warwolf will get you there, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is a very functional deck, looks really good. The only card, I didn't know what to add as like the 39th card, because this would be Dust Shoot, and I did, like, we don't have Dust Shoot, so I put in just a Starlight Road so we could like freely set our back row. But this isn't really necessary. You could also do like an extra copy of Creature Swap or something like that, like even Lance or something. Like this was like the one card where I was like, I don't really know what to put here, so we'll just put this in. Either way, this is a more than competitively viable deck. This is totally fine, and again, very, very budget. Then we have Nordics. And again, we're taking advantage of the single copy of Ancient Sacred Wyvern. So if you don't want to buy Ancient Sacred Wyvern or Armory Arm, like I think the next couple decks are all like kind of need them, right? So, and that's like Unicorn Control plus Nordics. But I forgot to add like, I mean, actually never mind. We fixed that. But yeah, so like this is like pretty basic. I cut the gray or the white goat because I forgot that like. I think after talking to Dave, we decided that card just like wasn't very good. So this is a bit more clean of a build. And in the original build I have on my website, I actually have one bottomless and then two dust shoot, or one bottomless and one dust shoot. But we cut the dust shoot, so we just add an extra copy of bottomless, makes it super simple and seamless. And boom, you have a very budget, another like really good deck. This is also great if you're like having new Tengu locals. There's new players. A lot of people don't know how to play against Nordic, so it'll catch people off guard. But yeah, the extra deck was pretty simple. We're abusing both of our two Leviathan Dragons just because you can make rank 3s pretty easy in this alongside Synchros. Especially if you get like Veilered or something, like you like swap a Tangnosteer to attack, they Veiler, then you summon Tour Guide, get a Sangan, and then Exceed with the Tangnosteer into Leviathan. Those plays can come up, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is again taking advantage of the expensive cards, but it is what it is. I would say it's worth just to pick up this deck because it just gives you an extra deck into your budget pool. But if we technically meet our under 100 goal if we don't pick up Armory Arm and Ancient Sacred Wyvern. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do. I would say it's worth it. Then lastly, the last deck we have is Unicorn Control. I also forgot Fabled Ragin. If you're going to pick this card up, order the dual terminal ones from Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 or whatever, because they're really, really cheap. I think these were 20 cents. So I added in a single copy of Fabled Ragin, but for the most part, we had everything else. I also added the Armory Arm. Reason why Armory Arm's so good is just because if you BLS plus Armory Arm, which in like a lot of these decks, it's pretty easy to do, you can get an OTK if they have like 2 attack position monsters. So I'd say it's like pretty worth it. But this Unicorn Control list is also really cheap. Fabled Catsith is like not a bad investment. If you think like you want to dig a bit deeper and go into like just generic Catsith Chaos, there's all you need is Gravekeeper Spy and then Thunder Kings. And so if you're gonna bite the bullet and buy Thunder Kings at some point, that's where like these Catsith are going to come in handy. Catsith is a pretty splashable card, especially with the Kushanos and like as a tour guide target and stuff like that. This is kind of like the watered down version of Catsith Control. It's functionally slightly different because you're using Reckless Greeds to actually like manipulate hands, so Fabled Unicorn can be a bit more potent. That's also why Dark Bug is in here. But this deck is also absurdly cheap and pretty good, and definitely something you can look into. It also gives you options for expanding your investment in the future. But yeah, that is basically everything, guys. I did reduce some quantities on some cards because, like, for example, because of the nature of the list for agents I had, I cut the Christia down to 1 in the cart. Just trying to make things as cheap as possible so we could give an accurate representation of what it would be to buy in. But the fact that you're getting, like, basically 6.5 to 7 decks at the price of $130 to get into the format, all of which are like fairly competitive or very competitive, I'd say that's like a pretty good deal. And there's like announced the Rarity Collection 3. There is a world or a universe where maybe we can get like Thunder King reprinted and stuff like that to make it cheaper. Like, I mean, Konami, give us Thunder King, give us Dust Shoot, apparently give us Armory Arm and Ancient Sacred Wyvern. We need those cards. But for the most part, I think this is like a pretty good deal. I think this is a solid option of if you're new, want to buy into the format, but don't want to go too crazy on your investment. This is very cheap, and some of these cards are foil and nice. A rarity collection did wonders for us. You know, we got like the Super Raikou, Super Book of Moon, stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Let me know if you found this video helpful. It's kind of bizarre just like showing, oh hey, but like this is kind of like I'm buying into the format. I'm gonna consolidate my list down to like this is what exactly I think you could get to like get as many competitive decks for as cheap as possible. So hopefully that's like appreciated, helpful for you guys. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. So let me know how you guys feel about it. But we're just going to give a quick shout out to my patrons. So shout out to Wabi Adam, Eric Gagnon, Slap God, My Dude, Photo Shooty, Brian Ford, and Sven Olbrand. Thank you guys so much for the support. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and have a great time doing it.